My sister stole my fiancé while I was abroad on a business trip. She married him in my wedding dress, spent his inheritance, and smiled like she'd won. But when I came back, I didn't cry. I didn't scream. I just watched. And slowly, carefully, I made sure she choked on every single lie she'd ever told. Because the best revenge isn't destroying someone, it's letting them destroy themselves. Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here with me today. Before I begin, I'd love to know where you're joining me from. Drop your city in the comments. And also subscribe to this channel. Now, let me take you into this story. I stood at Logan Airport that cold September morning, my heart heavy but hopeful. Ryan Carter, my fiancé, held both my hands in his. His green eyes were soft, promising. 3 months will fly by, Grace, he whispered. When you come back, we'll start planning everything. The wedding, our future, all of it. I believed him. God, I believed every word. My sister Emily stood behind him, arms crossed, smiling that sweet smile she always wore. Don't worry about anything here, she said brightly. I'll check in on Ryan, make sure he's eating right and not missing you too much. I laughed and hugged her. You're the best, Em. Ryan kissed my forehead one last time. I grabbed my suitcase and walked toward security, turning back twice to wave. They stood together, waving back. The perfect picture of family warmth. I didn't know that would be the last honest moment between us. London was waiting, my career was waiting, and I thought love would wait too. I was wrong. Ryan and I met 2 years earlier at a charity fundraiser in Boston. He was a financial consultant, calm and ambitious, with a laugh that made you feel safe. I was working my way up in marketing, hungry and determined. We clicked instantly. Within 6 months, we were inseparable. Within a year, he proposed on a quiet beach in Maine, just the two of us and the sound of waves. The ring was modest. Our plans were simple. A small wedding, a cozy apartment, a life built on trust and effort. Emily was always around during those days. She'd join us for dinners, movie nights, weekend trips. She was my little sister, sweet and supportive, or so I thought. Looking back now, I see it clearly. The way her eyes lingered on Ryan just a second too long. The way she laughed too hard at his jokes. The way she always asked about his work, his money, his future. Envy is quiet before it roars. London welcomed me with rain and opportunity. The company had chosen me for a major project, 3 months of building partnerships across Europe. It was the break I'd been waiting for. My hotel room overlooked the Thames. Every morning, I'd video call Ryan. He looked tired but happy. I miss you, he'd say, but I'm proud of you. Emily sent pictures almost daily. Family dinners. Coffee dates with Mom. Sometimes she'd snap a photo of Ryan helping her carry groceries or fixing something at Mom's house. He's such a gentleman, she texted once. You're so lucky, Grace. I smiled at my phone. I felt lucky. I felt blessed. I had a man who loved me and a sister who cared. The meetings went well. My boss praised my work. I started imagining how Ryan would react when I came home with a promotion and a raise. I dreamed of our future every night. I never dreamed of betrayal. By the 2nd month, Emily's messages became more frequent. Ryan and I grabbed lunch today, she'd write. He's been helping me with some paperwork. Or, took Ryan to that new Italian place you wanted to try. He says it's not the same without you. I didn't question it. Family helps family. Sisters support sisters. That's what I believed. One evening, she called me, breathless with excitement. Grace, guess what? Ryan asked me to help him pick out flowers for the wedding. He wants it to be a surprise for you. My heart swelled. That's so sweet of him. Thanks for helping, Em. Anything for you, she said softly. I went to bed that night imagining white roses and soft music. I thought about walking down the aisle toward Ryan, his face glowing with love. I should have heard the warning in her voice, that slight tremor, that hidden smile. But love made me blind. Ryan called me late one October night. His voice sounded strange, distant. Grace, I need to tell you something. My stomach tightened. What's wrong? My uncle passed away last week, he said quietly. The one in Connecticut. "Oh, Ryan, I'm so sorry." I felt guilty for being so far away. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I mean, it's hard, but there's something else." He paused. "He left me his estate, the house, some investments. It's a lot of money, Grace." I gasped. "Ryan, that's incredible. I mean, I'm sorry about your uncle, but this changes everything for us." "I know," he said, but his voice didn't sound happy. It sounded heavy. "We can start fresh when I get back," I continued, my mind racing with plans. "A better apartment, maybe even a small house. We can finally breathe." "Yeah," he said softly. "We'll talk when you're home." That was the last real conversation we had. After that, his calls grew shorter. His texts felt cold. And I felt the ground shifting beneath me. A week later, my friend Natalie texted me. "Grace, I don't know how to say this, but I saw Ryan and Emily together yesterday. At a restaurant. They looked close." My heart stopped. "Close how?" "Like, holding hands across the table close." I stared at my phone, frozen. Then I laughed it off. "They're probably just planning something for the wedding," I typed back. "Emily's been helping him." "Maybe," Natalie replied. "Just thought you should know." I told myself she was overreacting. Ryan loved me. Emily was my sister. These were the two people I trusted most in the world. But that night I couldn't sleep. I called Ryan, no answer. I called Emily, voicemail. I tried again the next morning, and the next. Their silence was louder than any confession. Something was wrong. Deep in my gut, I knew it. But I wasn't ready to believe it yet. The days dragged on. Ryan's messages became one or two words. Busy, tired, later. Emily stopped sending pictures. When I asked why, she said, "I've just been swamped, Grace, don't worry." But I was worrying. Every day, every hour, the unease grew. I started checking social media obsessively. Ryan's profile was quiet. Emily's too. But mutual friends were posting pictures from gatherings I wasn't invited to. And in the background of one photo, blurry but unmistakable, I saw them. Ryan and Emily, standing too close, his hand on her lower back. I zoomed in until the pixels blurred. My hands shook. I told myself it was nothing. I told myself I was paranoid, jet-lagged, stressed. But the truth was creeping closer, circling me like a predator. I booked an earlier flight home. I didn't tell anyone. I wanted to surprise them. I wanted to be wrong. The flight back to Boston felt endless. I couldn't eat. Couldn't sleep. My mind replayed every smile, every text, every "I love you" Ryan had ever said. I landed at dawn and took a cab straight home. The October air was crisp, the streets quiet. As the cab turned onto my street, I saw it. Cars lined the driveway, balloons tied to the mailbox, music drifting from inside the house. My stomach dropped. I paid the driver with trembling hands and stepped out. The front door was unlocked. I pushed it open. Laughter, clinking glasses, the smell of flowers. I walked toward the living room, my heart pounding so hard I thought it would burst. And then I saw her. Emily in a white dress, my white dress, the one I'd chosen months ago, hidden in the back of my closet. She was walking down a makeshift aisle, holding a bouquet of white roses. And at the end of that aisle stood Ryan, smiling. I couldn't breathe. The room spun. Faces turned toward me, gasps rippling through the crowd. "Grace," someone whispered. Emily froze mid-step. Her eyes met mine. For 1 second, I saw guilt flicker across her face. Then it was gone, replaced by something cold, defiant. Ryan's face went pale. My mother rushed toward me from the side, her hands shaking. "Grace, sweetie, What is this?" My voice cracked, barely a whisper. No one answered. The efficient, confused, glanced between Emily and Ryan. "Grace," Ryan started, stepping forward. "Let me explain." "Explain," I choked out. "You're marrying my sister in my dress, in my house." Emily lifted her chin. "Grace, love can't be owned. Ryan and we fell in love. It just happened." I stared at her, my sister, my blood. "You knew I was coming back," I whispered. "You knew." She didn't answer. I turned and walked out. I didn't run. I didn't scream. I just left. Behind me, I heard my mother crying. I heard Ryan call my name. But I didn't stop. I walked until my legs gave out. I collapsed on a park bench 3 blocks away and finally let myself break. I disappeared after that. I checked into a small motel by the coast, far from Boston, far from everyone. For weeks, I didn't answer calls. I deleted social media. I lay in bed and stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment, every lie. Emily married Ryan that day. My mother told me later, her voice filled with shame. She said Emily claimed they'd tried to fight it, but love was stronger. Love, the word made me sick. Ryan tried calling. I blocked him. Emily sent messages. Grace, please talk to me. I never wanted to hurt you, but I couldn't help how I felt. I read them and felt nothing, just a hollow, aching cold. At night, I dreamed of that moment. Emily in my dress, Ryan's face, the flowers I'd planned for my own wedding. I cried until there were no tears left. Then slowly, something inside me shifted. Grief turned to clarity. Pain turned to purpose. I wasn't going to scream or beg or fall apart. I was going to watch and wait. I returned to Boston 3 months later. Quietly. I rented a small apartment across town, got a new job, and rebuilt my life piece by piece. I didn't contact Ryan or Emily. I didn't go to family dinners. But I watched. Social media became my window. Emily posted constantly. Pictures of their new house, Ryan's money funding her lifestyle, designer bags, exotic trips, champagne brunches. She captioned one photo. Sometimes the universe gives you exactly what you need. I stared at that post for a long time. Then I started digging. I reached out to old contacts, people who knew Ryan's business. I learned that his inheritance wasn't just money. It was investments, properties, legal documents. And Emily's name was on some of them. Interesting. I kept digging. I found receipts, transactions, transfers. Emily had been in debt before the wedding. Credit cards maxed out, loans unpaid. But after marrying Ryan, everything was suddenly cleared. She hadn't married him for love. She'd married him for survival. And that gave me exactly what I needed. I created a fake profile under a different name and joined a business group Ryan frequented. I befriended one of his associates, a man named Lawrence who loved to gossip. Over coffee, Lawrence told me everything. Ryan's business dealings were shaky. Some of his investments were under investigation for fraud. Ryan's smart, Lawrence said, but he's careless, and his wife, she's bleeding him dry. His wife? I asked innocently. Yeah, Emily. She spends like there's no tomorrow. Rumor is she forged some documents to get access to accounts Ryan didn't even know about. My pulse quickened. Forged documents. Lawrence nodded. That's what I heard. If it's true, Ryan could be in serious trouble. She put his name on things without his consent. I smiled into my coffee cup. Perfect. I thanked Lawrence and left. That night, I contacted a lawyer, someone discreet. I explained what I'd learned and asked for help gathering proof. It took weeks, but slowly, carefully, the evidence came together. Emily had lied, she'd forged, she'd stolen. And I was going to make sure the truth came to light. I didn't rush. Revenge is best served cold, calculated, and precise. I sent anonymous emails to Ryan's lawyer, copies of the forged documents, bank statements showing Emily's debts and how they vanished after the wedding. I didn't sign my name. I didn't need to. The lawyer did his job. Ryan started asking questions. I could tell from the shift in Emily's posts. The smiles looked forced. The captions became defensive. Some people will do anything to tear down your happiness, she wrote once. I smiled. One evening, I saw Ryan's car parked outside a law office downtown. I waited across the street and watched him leave, his face tight with anger. The cracks were forming, and I was just getting started. The unraveling happened faster than I expected. Ryan discovered everything: the forged signatures, the secret accounts, the lies Emily had spun to gain control of his money. At a charity gala in November, in front of Boston's elite, he confronted her. I wasn't there, but Natalie was. She called me immediately, breathless. "Grace, you won't believe what just happened." "Tell me," I said calmly. Ryan accused Emily of fraud, in front of everyone. She slapped him. People recorded it. It's all over the internet. I hung up and opened my laptop. Within minutes, I found the video. There they were, Ryan, red-faced and furious. Emily, tears streaming, screaming that he was a liar. The crowd watched in shock. I watched it 3 times. Then I closed my laptop and poured myself a glass of wine. Justice, I realized, doesn't always roar. Sometimes it whispers. Ryan filed for divorce 2 days later. The news spread fast. Emily's perfect life crumbled in a matter of weeks. The house was seized. Her credit cards were frozen. Friends disappeared. She moved back in with our mother, jobless and humiliated. I kept my distance, but I heard the stories. Emily rarely left the house. She'd gained weight, stopped doing her hair, stopped posting online. One evening, my mother called. "Grace, please, Emily's in a bad place. She needs you." "She needs me," I repeated softly. "She's your sister." "She stopped being my sister the day she put on my dress," I said. And I hung up. I felt no guilt, no satisfaction either. Just emptiness. It was a cold December evening when Emily showed up at my apartment. I opened the door and there she stood, thin, pale, eyes red from crying. "Grace," she whispered. I didn't move, didn't speak. "Can I come in?" she asked. I stepped aside. She walked in slowly, looking around like she didn't recognize the world anymore. "You did this to me," she said finally, her voice shaking. "Did I?" I asked calmly. "You ruined me," she screamed. "You destroyed my life." I looked at her, really looked at her. The sister I once loved, the girl who used to braid my hair and share secrets. "No, Emily," I said quietly. "You ruined yourself." She stared at me, tears streaming down her face. "You stole my fiancé. You wore my dress. You spent his money, and you smiled the whole time." "I loved him." "You loved his money," I interrupted. "And when he found out what you really were, he left. That's not my fault. That's yours." She collapsed onto my couch, sobbing. I watched her cry, and I felt nothing. Emily left my apartment that night without another word. I locked the door behind her and stood in the silence. Part of me expected to feel victory, satisfaction, something. But all I felt was tired. I walked to my bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. My face looked older, harder. "Revenge doesn't heal," I whispered to my reflection. "It just reminds you of every wound." That night I wrote 2 letters, one to Ryan, one to Emily. I forgave him for being weak. I forgave her for being cruel. Not because they deserved it, but because I did. I burned both letters in the sink and watched the ashes swirl down the drain. Ryan left Boston a month later. I heard he moved to Seattle, started over with a quieter job and a quieter life. Emily stayed with our mother. She got a part-time job at a grocery store, head down, invisible. I saw her once from across the street. She looked small, broken. I didn't approach her, didn't wave. I just kept walking. Some wounds don't close. Some bridges can't be rebuilt. And that's okay. In February, my boss called me into her office. "Grace, we're expanding into Europe again. We need someone in London." My heart skipped. "London? You did incredible work there before. We want you back. Permanent position, big promotion." I sat there stunned. London, the city where I'd lost everything. Or maybe, the city where I'd begun to find myself. "I'll take it," I said. She smiled. "I knew you would." That night, I packed my apartment slowly, room by room. I didn't feel sad. I felt free. I flew back to London on a rainy March morning. The city looked the same. The Thames, the lights, the noise. But I was different. I wasn't the hopeful girl who left Boston dreaming of love. I wasn't the broken woman who came back to betrayal. I was something new, something stronger. I rented a flat overlooking the river. I threw myself into work. I made new friends, found new rhythms. And slowly, carefully, I started to heal. Not because I forgot, but because I chose to move forward. One evening, I stood on my balcony, watching the city lights flicker. My phone buzzed, a message from Natalie. Saw Emily today, she asked about you. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I deleted it. Some chapters end, some people fade. And that's not cruelty. It's survival. Months passed, a year, then two. I built a life in London I never imagined, a career I loved, friends who knew nothing of my past. I dated occasionally, nothing serious, I wasn't ready. But I was learning to trust again, slowly. One day I received a letter, no return address. Inside, 2 words in Emily's handwriting, "I'm sorry." I held it for a moment. Then I tore it up. Some apologies come too late. I never went back to Boston. My mother visited me once. We had tea. We talked carefully, avoiding the past. "Emily's doing better," she said. "She's in therapy." "Good," I said. And I meant it. Not because I forgave her, but because her pain wasn't mine to carry anymore. 3 years after everything fell apart, I stood in a London garden at a work event. The sun was setting, painting the sky pink and gold. A colleague approached me, smiling. "Grace, you always look so peaceful. What's your secret?" I thought about it, about Ryan, about Emily, about betrayal and revenge and everything in between. "I learned that some people will take everything from you," I said quietly. "And when they do, you have 2 choices. You can let it destroy you, or you can let it refine you." She nodded thoughtfully. I smiled. I chose refinement. "If you've made it this far, thank you, truly. Before I go, I need to tell you something important. Betrayal doesn't always destroy you. Sometimes it teaches you." Emily stole my fiancé. She wore my dress. She spent his money, and for a long time I thought that meant she'd won. But here's what I learned. People who trade love for gold soon realize that gold can't love them back. Ryan's money didn't make Emily happy. It made her desperate, paranoid, empty. And me, I lost a man who didn't deserve me and a sister who never really loved me. But I gained something better. I gained myself. So here's my message to you, wherever you are. When someone betrays you, don't destroy yourself trying to destroy them. Just step back and watch. Because the people who build their lives on lies always collapse under the weight of their own deceit. I didn't steal Emily's peace. She gave it away the moment she chose greed over love. And now, thousands of miles away, I sleep soundly every night. Because peace isn't something someone can steal from you. It's something you choose for yourself. Thank you for listening. If this story meant something to you, leave a comment. Let me know you were here. And remember, the best revenge isn't rage. It's living well,